Okay, everyone. Alright, I've just installed a drain across my driveway. I've been having this issue of it washing out, and I've noticed I've been sitting out here when it's raining, and that all the water that collects out the front of the house here all rushes down the driveway. This is like a big funnel, and yeah, when we get really big downpours, it'll actually overflow the gutter in, which is my own fault. I should have actually added another downpipe in the middle, but anyway, it's the way it is. Most of the time it's alright. It's just when you get really big downpours. Anyway, I figured that most of the water, you can see the ruts going all the way down the driveway. Most of this dirt that's in the next 20-30 metres, or was in there, is now right down the front. That was all blue metal right down after the bend. You can't barely see any blue metal except for a little bit on the corner. So all of that yellowy pebble has washed down from up here. Anyway, I'm going to got two things to do. One is this drain, and the next thing I'm going to do, which is going to involve a bit of cost, is I'm going to try and get several truckloads of blue metal. And I want to build that up down the bottom, because come winter in the wet season, that just sort of stays wet, puddles up, and even goes underwater at times. So yeah, I want to build that up at least 3 or 4 inches. But I also want to build up here. I'm going to put a bit of a crown on it, so that hopefully the water runs off to each side and not down the middle. Like, the more it's washed out, the worse it gets. As you can see, there's a big sort of a hollow in there now. Anyway, what I really actually wanted to talk about was putting this drain in. This is one of those plastic drains that I bought from Bunnings. I did watch a couple of videos. I was initially going to just stick it straight in the dirt. Then I watched half a dozen videos and all of them concreted it in, so I figured that's what I should do. I've done it in 2 halves, and because I can't block off the entire driveway. But when I first started, when I was doing this side, I was trying to keep the concrete out of the drain, which was near impossible, especially when I'm only going to, like, if I had a wider area, 4 or 6 inches wide, I might have done better, but it's only 3 inches on either side, and it's near impossible to shovel it in there. And after I first started, I realised I couldn't sort of keep it out of there. I covered it in cardboard and masking tape. And of course, as soon as the masking tape got wet, it come off anyway. And the cardboard itself was an issue too, because it was making it difficult to see the level of the drain, the height of the drain, and to match it up with the concrete on either side. So the cardboard mask was a failure. But anyway, we got by for the time being. Got by on that one. There's a little bit of concrete on top, cement, that'll scrub off anyway. But the other thing I found happening is, I thought, well, there's not a lot of concrete, and so I just packed a little bit of dirt in either end of the boards. Didn't bother to take them down or anything, so I figured there wasn't enough concrete to push it out. 3x2 boards, and 4x2 boards actually. But what I found is, I put the drain in, I had a string line across it, and the drain actually floated up. It sat up, like, after I had it then pushed in place with the string line and everything. Put the concrete in, I'm trying to trowel it in, and I discovered that the whole drain had floated, it lifted up an inch. So I then had to go along and walk along that jump on it in a few places to push it back down into place. Of course, when I did that, the concrete then pushed the boards out. This meant I then had to go along and peg all the boards. So that was a bit of a drama. Anyway, I've learnt from that. The second one, I've covered the whole thing with duct tape. And because the duct tape's minimal thickness, so there's no issues with finding the top edge of the drain and matching it with the concrete. This one didn't float for some reason, probably because I put it in a little bit earlier. I think there was less concrete in there when I actually sat the drain in. I've also put some trench mesh Rio right along there. Did an overlap where it's joined. The other thing too, where you're joining it, don't make it smooth, just leave it rough, it'll bond to it. The new concrete will bond to the old concrete better if it's rough, and also wet it before you put the concrete in. And yeah, that's about it. One thing I like about concrete is it always comes up better than you think it's going to. You know, like, even by my standards, you know, this is pretty rough. It's pretty textured. I could wait a while, another half hour or something, go over it again, and smooth it, but I'm not going to bother. That's one thing I like about concrete. It always looks better when it's dry than you think it's going to. So you look at that when it's wet. Wow, that's rough. There's trail marks everywhere, and it's coarse. And if you come down and have a look at the dry, this was exactly the same. I didn't finish it off any better, and you can barely notice any of it. It's dry and it becomes white. It looks fine. So, as I said, don't panic about it. I mean, if you want to finish your concrete off smooth, keep going over it. But basically, as I said, it always looks better than you think it's going to. And here's our Tasmania curse. This little ant, black ant with white nippers. It's known as a jack jumper. He will bite you. You get close, and it will swell up, and it'll itch for days, and people even have allergic reactions to them. And people that have even died from having such a bad reaction to these ants. There. I tried to get rid of the nests around the house. Pour petrol when I'm actually on the nests. But you can't find them all. There's obviously nests under these bushes and stuff. So that's one of the things of living in Tasmania. You just have to put up with things like that. So, yeah, you always wear shoes when you're outside. Boots actually. Anyway, thanks for listening. I just wanted to point out a few things that sort of caught me by surprise a little bit, and what I've learnt from. Yeah, thanks for watching.